So it appears once again that it's time to add another name to the rock and roll RIP list. The word legendary gets thrown around a bit too carelessly for my taste these days, but in this case, it applies. Legendary singer, songwriter, musician, and band leader Tom Petty passed away yesterday at the age of 66. He would have been 67 on October 20th. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers burst onto the scene in 1976, just at the very moment when it appeared that guys with guitars were going out of fashion and would soon be replaced by drum machines and dance floors and disco music. Not if Tom had anything to say about it, though. That first Heartbreakers album brought us classics like Breakdown and American Girl, songs that, along with scores of others written and recorded by Tom Petty, that would go on to be part of the rock and roll songbook, part of the American experience, and perhaps most importantly, part of the soundtrack, the very fabric of our lives, mine and yours. The Waiting, Refugee, Here Comes My Girl, Don't Do Me Like That, Listen to Her Heart, Don't Come Around Here No More, Even the Losers, You Got Lucky, Mary Jane's Last Dance, You Don't Know How It Feels, Learning to Fly, I Won't Back Down, Free Fallin', and on and on and on. Depending on how you count, you're looking at 15 or so albums over the course of a 40-year career. In an industry that's notorious for moving on to the, quote, next big thing every 6 months or so, Tom Petty stayed a pretty big thing for the better part of 4 decades. Over the course of his career, he battled with ticket scalpers and managers and attorneys and record labels. While he may have understood that music was, in fact, a business, Tom Petty made no bones about the fact that no high-powered suit in some corner office was going to use his name to stick it to the little guy. That guy who was working his ass off to make a buck to get his little piece of the American dream. And who was generous enough to spend a few of those bucks on a Tom Petty record or a ticket to one of his shows. As a songwriter, his approach was both quintessentially American and intensely personal. A lyrical magician who worked tirelessly at his craft, all in the name of making it appear effortless. And while it may have looked that way to us, to the fans, reaching that many people on that deep a level for so many years requires effort and patience and dedication and an unwavering commitment to having the guts to say what's in your heart at any given moment in time. If you were lucky enough, or wise enough, to see Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers live, you know he wasn't a guitar wizard, and he didn't seem interested in having a band that was going to wow you with blazing solos or pyrotechnics or stage gimmickry. It's as if every part of him said, if the songs are good enough, that's all we need. And Tom, just so you know, the songs were more than good enough. 66 years doesn't seem very old anymore. So for those of us who are fans, 66 seems like way too soon for Tom Petty to be gone. But I prefer to think of it like this. If in 100 years, or 200 years, or 500 years, our future ancestors want to try to understand what rock and roll was and why, at least for a time, it changed the world, all they will have to do is dig up the Tom Petty catalog and give it a listen. And then it'll all be crystal clear. Blessings on your journey, Tom Petty. Thank you for all you've given to us. It won't be forgotten.